Hi Pisces, my name is Audrey Alison and I'm here to give you your January 2015 forecast for the month. Happy New Year and happy holidays. I'm coming to you from New Jersey. So let's just get into this because this is an exciting month for your first house of self. For Pisces, we have some action happening for you, but also your 12th house of quiet inner reflection and spirituality and psychic ability and even music endeavors and creative music potential. Now, on the 3rd of January, we have Venus that's entering your 12th house. When Venus, the planet of love and money, enters the 12th, there's a beautification to any of you artists or musicians. Venus in the 12th is a very spiritual undertaking. It could be music, Neptune rules the 12th house, and that is your ruling planet. So having Venus go into the 12th, it kind of beautifies this beautiful musical placement for people who are doing that, but it's also money. And it's weird to have money mixed in with spirituality, but you could have the finances to investigate metaphysical avenues and also realms of, tarot or psychic ability is enhanced with Venus there. The 12th house is one of the most quiet, and it's also your own psychic and your intuition, your abilities could be enhanced when she's there. And following her the day after on the 4th is Mercury. So Mercury will be conjunct Venus in this 12th house of quiet spirituality and inner reflection. And you start out the new year calm, which is a good thing. Mercury will be there for a while, but he'll retrograde there as well. So later on in the month. So it's really good for the first 2 to 3 weeks to balance out what you internally would like to achieve in the new year. Don't go too overboard with the things, your resolutions and things you'd like to accomplish, but you're getting messages. Mercury is information. And when Mercury is the planet of information is in the 12th house of inner intuition, information, you could have very prophetic dreams. You could be channeling. You could be doing what I do. You could be reading tarot. You could be receiving information from other planes, from people who have passed, from guides, through dreams, prophecies, prophetic information. Now, on that same day, on the 4th, we have our full moon at 14 degrees Cancer. Cancer is another sister water sign like you, Pisces. This is actually affecting your 5th house of fun, creativity, creative endeavors, what you're passionate about, romance, also children, gambling, and sports. So there's a plethora of activity happening in the 5th, but the full moon brings an awareness and an illumination to something that has not been seen in the 5th house sector. And it also brings something to an ending. You could be finishing a creative project at this time. You could also be saying goodbye to your children who are going back to school or college after their break. The 5th house is also, you could be ending a light-hearted romance at this time around the 4th. But even if you're not taking action upon doing so, the full moon is an intuitive illumination, inner guidance. So you might be just receiving thoughts of possibly bringing something to an ending that isn't working for you. The 5th house isn't a committed marriage. It's more light-hearted dating. A romance, something that's not soul connected. It's like you're just getting to know each other. So be aware of what information you're getting because you will be receiving it probably more so than others with Mercury in the 12th. Now on the 12th of January, Mars moves into your sign. Mars moves into Pisces in your 1st house. So this is giving you a tremendous amount of ambition, drive, determination, and will. But Mars is also heat, passion, sweat, energy, feistiness, aggression, and anger to its detriment. However, you could get a lot accomplished. You could lose weight with Mars in the first because you will be expelling a lot of heat and sweat, but you also will have a lot of energy to work out. Mars wants you on the go. You're restless with Mars in the first house, so you're at a quicker pace because Mars, he'll be there for 60 days. So if you are starting off the new year with some kind of New Year's resolution to hit the gym and lose some pounds, the 12th of January would be a brilliant day to start that out because you have tremendous support with Mars there. On the 20th, the Sun enters Aquarius like it does every year. This is your 12th house again. So the Sun will be conjunct Mercury and Venus in your 12th house of quiet time and psychic ability. There's a lot of rest, recuperative rest, when the 12th house is activated. Also on that same day, though, the 20th, the new moon is at 0 degrees Aquarius in the 12th house. You really could initiate, I feel like the 20th is a day you should mark down and pay attention to what you dream on the eve of the 19th as well as the evening of the 20th. The new moon at 0 degrees is initiating something new, obviously the new moon, but at 0 degrees, it doesn't have to fall at 0 degrees every new moon, but they have been for the last 5 months. So there's a pattern here. A new moon could be anywhere between 0 and 30 degrees. But the fact that it is at 0 degrees is suggesting to us as human beings on this plane that we are ascending and trying to get to establish a new pattern in these sectors that we're having these 0 degree new moons. This is the 12th house. You might want to write down your dreams. You also might want to invest in seeing psychics or doing something with the 12th house, which is, spiritual and musical. So there could be a new music endeavor that's happening on the 20th for you artists and musicians and writers and things like that. On the 21st is when Mercury is going to retrograde, 17 degrees Aquarius through the 11th in this 12th house. So not a great time for, I don't even mind a Mercury retrograde in the 12th. It's not a good time for signing contracts because your communications might be on the fritz, cell phones and computers. You don't want to spend a lot of money on fixing items unless it's absolutely necessary because you might do so without really having to do so. I'd wait until after the 11th to see if they're even still broken. So just keep in mind that technologies go awry and mixed messages. Pisces, please try to be as clear as you can with your communications around that time. The more information or details, the better. Provide a full range of information for people because, the 12th house is what you are internally thinking, but not everybody knows what you're internally thinking unless you express it. Unless you're a clairvoyant psychic. And even then, it can be difficult in a retrograde. But try to just really say what you mean and mean what you say around that time from the 21st to February 11th. Now, on the 27th, Venus makes her second transit into Pisces. Okay, so this is your first house of self where she'll meet up with Mars and be conjunct there. Amazing placement to have Mars and Venus in your first house, the balance of male and female energy, Mars male, Venus female, in the first house. You are looking your best aesthetically, effective the 27th through the end of February. Venus really beautifies the sector she touches, and when she falls in the self, the first little pie on the solar astrological wheel, that's when she's beauty. Venus is beauty. She's Aphrodite. She's the goddess of love. And she is representing Pisces from the 27th of January through the end of February. So take advantage of that. I would get out and be a little social if you're looking to meet up or meet the right people or look your best or perform because you're really, you're looking great. And Mars is giving you energy and a physical strength. Let me get to your cards and see what they have to say. The 12th house should be represented here, whether that's the High Priestess or some of the more quiet cup cards. We'll see what happens, though. For Pisces, January 2015. Now, if you'd like a reading with me also, I'm available at audreyallison.com and Audrey Allison on Facebook and Tarot. What am I saying? Audrey Allison, Astrology and Tarot on Facebook. Here's the first card. Here's the cup cards. King of Cups. This is a very psychic card, but it's self-fulfillment and finding answers within. Do you see how this whale is replenishing his own cup with the water that's on his back? This is you really relying on your intuition. This is you relying on the 12th house. Now, this has come up in several readings. We all really need to... King of Swords. Oh, you have 2 kings. You're at a very high, high level, Pisces. Ooh, do you hear the train? There's a train going behind me, and I think you're going to start to see it. And I love this part of Jersey. This is the house I grew up in, so that sound is so comforting to me. But, okay, so this is the King of Swords. This is clear thinking. This is coming up in a majority of the readings. Really try to not have external noise or people's opinions sway you. Just do what you internally feel is right. I'll get to more of a summation in a minute. Ace of Swords. Now, he's got 1 sword, and this card has 1 sword. So you might be really holding your ground and standing firm with something that you believe in. Belief. This is a good idea, wisdom, positive thinking. And this is a thinking card too. The swords cards are the mental cards. They represent the air signs of Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. 6 of Wands, achievement, reward, recognition, honor, and respect. I want to pull another card that landed here. Oh, shit. This is the Wheel of Fortune. This is the outcome card that has occurred in 3 readings as an outcome card. We are ascending, and not all of us are going with us, but we are trying to get people to a higher level of understanding and intellect and moving up in their path, not just going in a circle, but going forward. And with the Wheel of Fortune, this is fate, transformation, and change. It's also literally fortune and fame, recognition, and social status. Okay, so these are you getting what it is that you're due. For any of you, and you know what? This is actually your idea. These cards are self-induced cards. Your opinions, your thoughts, your positive thinking. Clear thinking leads to a good idea. And trust yourself and your own intuition. No one else's opinions matter. You know what they're like, and everyone's got one. So your reward is coming through your own original ideas and concepts. I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you for tuning in with me, and I appreciate your support. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. And I will see you next month in February. Have a sweet day, Pisces. Bye.